Hey everyone, it's Miss Bell again here in the science lab, and I wanted to show you guys how we measure length. We might use something like this big old stick right here made out of wood. We would call this a meter stick. It might also look something like this. We call this a ruler, where it's 12 inches long. This is kind of the same thing. In fact, it is the same thing. It's just made out of a different type of material. This is clear and see-through and very, very bendy, and this is made out of wood and very, very hard, and you can't bend it. You might also see some sort of measurement tool to measure length that might look a bit shorter. Here we have a ruler that is 6 inches long, or it might come in a fashion that looks like this, where you can bend and fold it and store it that way. You see a lot of seamstresses or people who sew use measuring tape like this. So let's take a closer look as we measure length. Okay, here we have a close-up of our 12-inch rulers. One is clear, made out of bendy plastic. The other is wooden and opaque, and you can't see through it. But they measure the same way. If I were to line them up right here, you'd see that 1 inch is the same as 1 inch. 2 inches is as long as 2 inches. 3 and 3. Now, when you're measuring an item, you want to gather your item. I'm going to take this sticky note pad right here. And when I start measuring, I am not going to place the very beginning edge of my item all the way out here, because that's not in line with the 0 mark. You know what? I'm not even going to place it right there on the edge of the ruler, because if you see, I'm going to use my little pencil as a pointer. If you see, this mark is where the 0 is. So I'm going to slide my item to the very, very edge of where this understood 0 mark is, and then from there I'm able to have a starting point and a ending point. And we can tell that this sticky note pad is 3 inches long. Now, how do I know it's inches and not centimeters or millimeters or meters or yards? Now, some rulers have measurements on, or have labels on the actual ruler. On the clear one, I do not see inches measured. However, if you look right here, I know it's upside down, but that has a C and then an M, which stands for centimeters. And on the wooden ruler, again, CM stands for centimeters. Now, there's not a marking on either of these two rulers that say inches, but let me grab my meter stick, which I showed you at the beginning, and right here, inches. So again, you would start at the 0 mark, and this is 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inches. Now, I've gone ahead and turned around my rulers so that we can look on this side of the ruler. The spaces are a lot closer together. You know, look how wide an inch is compared to a centimeter. Now, the centimeter starts right here, and then it goes to 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters. And these little markings in between those numbers, those are the halves. So again, we start at 0. This is half a centimeter, 1 full centimeter, 1.5 centimeters, 2 full centimeters, so on and so forth. So the way that we would measure any item is, again, we're not going to have our item start off the ruler. We don't want that. Nor are we going to want our ruler to start at the very edge, because that's not our 0 mark. Our 0 mark is right here, right where the lead of my pencil is. So I'm going to line it up as best as I can at the 0 mark. Okay? Let's see if this angle is a little bit better for y'all to see. I think that might be. Okay, so it's at our 0 mark. So we have 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a little bit further than 7.5 centimeters. And since this is a square, I can turn or rotate my sticky note pad around, and the next length is going to be the same size. Okay, kiddos, so that is how you measure with either a ruler or a measuring tape or even a meter stick. Now, a meter stick is about, I can put my hands out and it goes that far. If I were to stand up, it's touching the ground and it goes up to about my hip or waist level. So that measures longer distances, and we use the same rules just like we discussed with the ruler. Whenever you're lining up whatever you're measuring, you don't want to have your item coming from before the meter stick starts, nor do you want it to line up kind of at the very edge. You want to find that nice 0 mark and line up your item just at that 0 mark. So if I were to do that right here, okay, I can see that this colored sticky note pad is 3 inches long. 3 inches long. And that's very, very important to get as accurate measurements as you can, because as a scientist or even a mathematician, you want to try your best for accuracy, because it makes your lab investigations or your math calculations as accurate and to the truth as you can get them. Okay? Thank you so much. I hope that helped.